Wrestling Syndicate's Supercard 2016 stacked card. Big names are here. Strap in your seatbelts, folks. It's gonna be a wild ride.
She's got big balls. We've got the biggest balls on the ball.
Real quickly, I'm going to tell you how I met your husband. Jim Cornette told me about this really unique kid they had from New Jersey down in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, and I was going to try to free him from the clutches of the evil Chris Candido. And over the course of several months, I was able to do that. And my parting gift to Boo Bradley at that time was to give him a pair of my tights, which he wore every single match for about the next 3 years, right? I think his next upgrade were the denim shorts, right? And I'm so proud of the fact that he really saw that as a big deal. And I want you to know that even in a business like ours that's filled with colorful characters, like there are certain guys that the rest of us gravitate towards, say, let me tell you what Balls did this time. And we loved hearing stories about Balls. And you probably don't know this, but like, our family actually has poses on our last vacation where we go, let's do the Balls Mahoney pose. And we know what that means. And that my youngest son will walk through and the house and he'll do it as your husband, as Balls Mahoney. And there have been so many people who graced the ring. And the percentage who are remembered that fondly to be to the point where they're imitated by other wrestlers' families, amazingly low. Your husband was a special man. He'll always have a place in the hearts of the ECW fans, a place in my heart.
Thank you, Balls. Thank you, Balls. Thank you, Balls. Thank you, Balls. Thank you, Balls.
Terry, thank you, share any words about Balls?
He was just an amazing guy that just, it was wonderful because there was always a Balls Mahoney story going around the dressing room. And believe me, we loved him, and he darn sure loved us. But the one thing that he was is that he was a lover of wrestling. And he is also a lover of the wrestling fan and the wrestling society, or whatever you want to call it, the wrestling world. He had one thing that he wanted to do in life, and that was wrestling, and that's what he did. And God bless him for it.
Now, Gail's dad would like to say a couple words.
John Balls Mahoney knew me as Pops. He called me Pops. I first met him a number of years ago. My wife and I were sitting at home in the dark, and the door opened up, and my daughter walks in, and she says, "Mom and Dad, I'd like you to meet Balls." That was my introduction to Balls Mahoney. And the next proudest moment in our life, of course, was the birth of Christopher Reckner, his son.
Yeah! Christopher! 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 Christopher!
Chris was the light of his life. There wasn't a thing he wouldn't do for this young man. And we were all very, very proud of John.
My dad was a very loving guy, and I loved him so much, and can't believe I lost him. It's just because of him.
John was always the talker, and I kind of just stood in the back. John's a great man. Everybody knew. No matter where we went, and his fans came up to him, he always had a few minutes to talk to everybody, take pictures, sign autographs. Even when we were at Six Flags. Right? Yep, so, great guy. We're all gonna miss him. Sorry, just a really big talker. Loves him.
How old are you? How old? 8 years old?
I'd say the last 6 years, every single time I saw your dad, you were by his side. You guys were inseparable. And I don't know if this is the most appropriate way to end our little talk, but I hope always maintain that our business is about creating memories that people hold on to. And so I'm going to try to recreate a great moment in wrestling history. I'm going to be playing the role of Mr. McMahon at a time when there was rumor out there that I had a son that I was not aware of, and take it from here.
So, face it, Mr. McMahon. I'm your son. You've got balls.
I have no balls. Thank you, you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Santa Predican here, and I'm here with former WWE superstar Gene Snitsky. Gene, pleasure to meet you. Alright, so of course my first episode is dedication to Balls Mahoney. So do you have any memories or thoughts with Balls?
Where do I start? John and I go way, way back. I've probably known John for 15, 16 years. Always a great guy, always the nicest guy, always take his shirt off his back for you. I've had hardcore matches with John. I've had go through the tables, go through doors, everything. I miss John, I miss you, John. I wish you were still here, man. I have such good memories. It's like, it's hard to just say one good thing because I have so many good things.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, my pleasure, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
For you, John. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with WWE Hall of Famer and hardcore legend Mick Foley. Foley, it's a pleasure, man.
Thank you.
Awesome show tonight. So this is a little tribute to John Balls Mahoney. Do you have anything to say? Any thoughts?
Oh yeah, like everybody who crossed paths with John, I thought the world of him. I loved him. He loved the wrestling business. When he was younger, we looked a lot alike. And I think he got that a lot. Like you remind me, you remind me of a young. Younger Mick Foley, and I took it as a compliment, I hope, right? Yeah.
His mom saw you on TV, goes, look, John, there you are. He goes, no, that's Mick, Mom.
And so we hit it off instantly. We always had great chemistry from the time we teamed up in Smoky Mountain, and I enjoyed his company, and he was even among a group of people who were larger than life, like. He was even among our group of characters. He was a character. He was somebody that we loved telling stories about, and we all miss him. He brought life and energy.
He was definitely truly missed, yes.
But you remember people, a certain way, and you have like little glimpses when you think of somebody. They're automatically memories that are triggered, and I have a couple things that immediately spring to mind. And then. Teaming up with him in Smoky Mountain, the thing with Mr. McMahon, yes, that I did out there in the ring, and primarily I think of John Balls with his son the last 5 or 6 years, always by his side. You know, like I thought I brought my kids a lot of places with me. I really did. And that's pretty unusual for wrestlers, and it shows how much he loved his son, how much his son loved him. I'm just so happy that the family joined me tonight.
Most definitely, I mean.
And I was very flattered to be asked to be the guy to do that.
Truth is the truth.
Definitely.
Supposed to be with Pat and Kevin right now.
Say a few words.
That's what to expect.
Nick, I appreciate it, man. All right. Once again, WWE Hall of Famer, Mick Foley, ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on, everybody? Sandy Pritikin here. And this video is a special video because it is in dedication of a very good friend of mine, former ECW legend John Balls Mahoney Reckner, who a couple months ago lost his life. My thoughts on John, when I first met him, it was during the summer, and my neighbor told me that she was dating a wrestler. I thought, all right, it's going to be some, no-name indie guy, just up-and-comer. He comes out of the house. I see he's rocking ECW sports shorts. I'm thinking, all right, cool, Hey, that's really cool, man. I'm a big fan of ECW. He goes, yeah, I used to wrestle for them. I was like, oh, really? What's your ring name? He goes, Balls Mahoney. Legitimately, my jaw dropped. From there on in, Balls Mahoney and I, anytime he would be in town, he would call me up. We would meet up, hang out, go for drinks. And he would tell me all these stories about the road, about just his career. I would ask him questions because, this is a guy that I watched on DVD, on television, like, holy moly. Then, the birth of his son, Christopher, which is actually, Chris carries the name of Chris Candido. Cute kid. John he loved his son with all his heart. His son was his life. He would bring him to the shows, everything. He loved his son. When I found out the news about John's passing, it hit me like a brick. Because here's a guy that I just literally spoke to him a week prior to that, telling him that I was coming to this event, Pro Wrestling Syndicate, my first ever Pro Wrestling Syndicate event. It's gonna be live at the Starland Ballroom in Sayreville, New Jersey. And he was telling me, he was like, oh yeah, dude, that's awesome. I'll make an appearance, let me know when you get there. Then, of course, I find out, Monday was his birthday. I sent him a happy birthday message. That following Tuesday, he passes away. It hit me hard because this is a guy that, like I said, not only I watched on television and played video games and just watched him on WWE during like the Invasion era, but I knew him as a person. I knew him as John Reckner. I knew him as a father. I knew him as a husband. I knew him as a man. So this episode is dedicated to him. I was recently at the Pro Wrestling Syndicate Supercard 2016 event in Sayreville, New Jersey, and it was a tribute show to him. His family was there, loyal wrestling fans, old school fans were there. Not only that, but there was also a lot of legends, superstars who knew John or worked with him for a little bit. So actually, I got to speak to two wrestlers, big, well-known wrestlers, former WWE superstars who knew John throughout his career. And you're going to check out some of the clips in just a moment. So, John, this is for you. I miss you, buddy. I know you're up there in heaven, being that chair swinging hardcore maniac that you are, rocking out to your, AC/DC theme song, and watching over everybody. So, John, it's for you, buddy. Rest in peace, my friend.